Greetings and a warm welcome. How are we all feeling at the moment? Today's topic is on what people say versus what they mean. And a lot of us think that, oh, just say what you mean what you say. But a lot of the times, there are other things to take into consideration. There are other things that are attached, like emotion and thoughts and experiences and another person's journey. And a person can say the opposite of what they mean. A person can say, you know what, it's okay, I forgive you. But you can hear in that voice that it's not okay, that tone, that inflection. And it's not just about saying what you mean. It's about becoming aware of the in-between, of the message that is being sent. And the problem is, when it comes to saying what you mean and meaning what you say, we make assumptions. We just assume because the way someone said something didn't resonate with us, or they said it in a specific way, or maybe we're not in a good mood today, so the way they said it just rubbed us the wrong way. And we do this based on our perspective, how we view things, how we make meaning from things. And we are constantly making meaning from what other people say all of the time. It's how we find ourselves in conflict. It's how we find ourselves in conversation. It's how we find ourselves being able to bond. But it's these assumptions that we make of what other people say that completely twists the story. It's not about assuming, it's about growing in insight, knowledge, and understanding of another person's human experience. And we often think because someone said something in a specific way, they are angry with us, we did something wrong, oh, doom and gloom. But maybe they just had a really hard day at work. Maybe someone cut them off in traffic when they were already late. You know, so it's about being aware of how people say things, what they actually mean behind it. If someone says, yeah, it's okay. No, it's not okay. But if someone says, yeah, you know what, I understand, it's okay. Then we make meaning from that. Then we start to understand, okay, well, they seem very sincere, so they must have meant it, right? But often the problem is when we are assuming what people say, when we think we know what people are going to say, we don't listen properly. So we only get half of the message. We only get half of the emotion. We only get half of what is being communicated. And that's how we create our assumptions. When we are not actively listening, when we're not listening to how it is being said, what the person is doing while they are saying it, how are they reacting, responding, and behaving. And not listening properly does lead to a massive roadblock in communication and forming relationships and bonds. Because if you don't listen actively, then you can't hear what is being meant. Then you don't know what is being meant, because you have to physically perceive the person to know what is being meant. And that's a problem. We often assume. We just think we know, because we have this habit of mind reading, even though mind reading is not possible. You can only really get to understand someone else's model of the world by listening to them communicate and how they communicate it. But we don't seek to understand. We don't seek to grow in that knowledge and in that insight. And that's what stops us and prevents us from making valuable meaning from what other people are saying, and by trying to understand what they mean and what the message is and how they're feeling about it. When we don't seek to understand, we don't seek to learn about people. We don't seek to learn about ourselves. And another massive roadblock to understanding what a person is actually saying is judgment. We often judge without knowing the full story. We often judge expecting the worst from people just because of what they said to you, just because of the way in which they said it to you. And you might interpret it wrong. Remember, we filter information. We have mental filters that delete, distort, or generalize information. And we put it through that mental filtering. We put it through that representational system in order to make meaning from the information that we are receiving from another person. But if you judge, you don't seek to understand, because people who seek to understand others and what is actually meant don't judge, because judgment is harmful, it's hurtful, and it's a roadblock towards communication and bonding and forming healthy relationships. And when it comes to your mental filtering, it's very important that you pay attention to it. That you don't just delete what someone says because you've decided that it's unnecessary. That you don't distort what someone says because it didn't resonate with you. And you don't generalize important information that is being communicated to you by another person. Watch your mental filtering. Watch what you delete, distort, and generalize. Because if you delete the wrong thing, then it might cause severe implications and bad outcomes. If you distort information, it could lead to a misunderstanding. It can lead to issues. It can lead to relationship issues. And if you generalize, you miss the message and you miss the point. It's important that you rather focus on what is being communicated rather than what you think someone else means. If you don't know what someone else means, ask them to clarify. Ask them, what do you mean by that? Can you show me what you mean? Because if we're not focused on what is being communicated, then we can't understand what another person is trying to say and what they actually mean. Because it doesn't help we go off on what we think other people mean, because that's distortion, and that's going to lead to a lot of issues and a lot of misunderstandings as well. And everything goes through that very unique representational system that we operate out of, which is our values, our beliefs, our past, our thoughts, our emotions, and it all goes through, all the information we receive goes through there. And that's how we make meaning. And that's how we create understanding. That's how we create insight, by putting it through those filters first. And the thing is, when we think we know what someone means and we are very upset with them, or they've really, really, really upset us because we thought they meant something completely different because we misinterpreted what they meant because of how they said it. And we get offended easily. We think, oh, you said it's okay, but you don't seem like it's okay. And that could cause a fight because the other person might just be very tired, not in a good mood. And it kind of feels like you're picking a fight when you get offended by what someone says. If someone blatantly disrespects you, by all means call it out. Manipulation as well. But it's important to first see and look at the intention before getting offended, before making assumptions, before creating judgments and hurt and breaking bonds and destroying relationships. Remember, we're not mind readers. We don't know what's going on in someone else's mind, just like no one else on this planet will know what's going on in your mind. Be compassionate. And we only truly ever know what someone else is thinking is when they express it. We can never know what you mean unless you express it. It's so important that you read between the lines, that you're always looking in an open way, in a non-judgmental way, in a non-assumptuous way, and that you are able to look at the person and see what they are meaning. Clarify if you don't know, but don't judge and assume, because we don't always say what we mean, and we don't always mean what we say. It's about reading in between the lines. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that stunning person. Stay strong wherever you're from. You are worthy.